Bob Stoops, the Oklahoma head coach, joining us on the show. Were you a Notre Dame fan growing up?
Not really, Dan. In our family, of course, I grew up in Youngstown, Irish Catholic, and we followed them to a degree. My father was a coach, but I can't say that we were fans, no.
Were you an Ohio State fan?
To a degree, but, my father kind of being a coach, he got to know a lot of different coaches, so we kind of followed everybody, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, but I can't say there was any one particular one.
Favorite player growing up was who?
Oh, gosh, probably Joe Washington, Steve Davis, those guys watching Oklahoma. Really, back in Ohio, I loved watching Oklahoma.
See, I was a Greg Pruitt fan.
Yeah, you got to throw him in there, too.
Yeah.
No, they were fun to watch, man, the great speed.
I'm worried about rivalries, though, of where they're going, because you had Oklahoma, Nebraska, obviously Michigan and Ohio State, and, even in basketball now, we're losing some of these rivalries with this conference realignment. Your thoughts on those rivalries and trying to keep them in place?
It is unfortunate. We kind of, our rivalry, even with Nebraska when they were in our league, was kind of diminished when they were in a different division than we were. So, it's just. Like they say, change is inevitable sometimes. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but, it's with the way things are going, it's just hard to protect them all.
When you're scheduling, how far out are you involved in the scheduling at Oklahoma of who you play?
I'm very much involved. I've been involved from day one. The athletic director's never scheduled someone without my approval, and not that he has to have it, but we've always agreed on it.
Facing 1AA teams. I said that maybe we don't count those towards bowl eligibility here, we've seen these blowouts. And look, I'm all for North Dakota State or Appalachian State or Georgia Southern when they're good playing, but I think when you get Savannah State and some of those other schools in there, what's the real benefit here?
Well, sometimes all I could say, we've always tried to avoid it at all costs here. But sometimes you can get trapped and somebody drops a game from you 2 years out, and there isn't anyone, there's not a lot of people willing to come here and play us. So we, like the time or two in our 15 years when we've had one, sometimes it's been because of that. But to go ahead and intentionally schedule them, we haven't done that.
Yeah, I wonder what it does to these kids who are on the receiving end of this. I know the programs will make money, but I mean, it's not your job to ensure their financial or physical safety here when you're playing a team, right?
No, that's right. But the only advantage usually I think what happens when in those cases too is you do get a lot of your twos, your backup guys, some work in those lopsided wins, and you can put them in earlier. And hopefully then the score doesn't get outrageous.
He's Bob Stoops, Oklahoma head coach. He's got Notre Dame at Notre Dame coming up on Saturday. Difference between Notre Dame this year and last year on film is what?
Not much. They still structurally plays they want to run offensively are the same. Defensively, still the same structure. What you don't see are Golson and Manti Te'o. Those two guys, one guy on defense isn't there. That was a main figure. And then the quarterback is different for their offense, but still a physical offensive line, great receivers out there, good running backs. And really the only difference with the two quarterbacks, is Reese. Here's a guy that's been a starter. He's got all kind of experience, is mature, a senior. So, he and a great thrower. The other guy probably ran a little bit better, definitely.
We're looking at offenses now, the current wave, the read option, the pistol. Where do you stand with the evolution of offense here, whether it's in high school, college, or the pros? Where are we going, in your opinion?
Well, it's a great opportunity, an option for people is the quarterback's ability to run. Is a different dimension. Now all of a sudden you can block everybody in the front, and now there's a secondary guy that has to deal with the quarterback coming from depth. So it's a situation that it's making it more complicated for defensive coordinators to stop them, especially when that guy's a great thrower to go with an opportunity to run the ball.
What did you think of Manziel?
I thought he was incredible, as everybody has seen over and over. The guy is, really special and talented with the way he plays.
But can you you're a defensive-minded guy. Can you try to devise something for him, but there's the improvisational skills that he has. How do you devise something?
You can't. I think it's been proven over and over, as you watch him, and as everybody talked about Alabama, even for an entire year working on him, and they didn't seem to have an answer for it. At the end of the day, his ability to do what you said, to improvise is unmatched. I mean, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Did you recruit him?
No, not really. I mean, we knew of them and all, but we were pretty satisfied with the guys we had.
I know it's not a fair question because everybody misses on a lot of players, but I think sometimes Texas was going to have him maybe play a defensive back. Oregon was interested in him. I was just curious if your thought process of a quarterback has changed with seeing these kids who can do the read option or whatever you're going to call it, or you're more comfortable with a pocket passer?
Oh no, we definitely have always really wanted the guys that can run the football, make a play out of nothing. That's always something we've looked for, but we have always looked for great passers first, and if they've got legs to go with it, better.
Paying these kids, we keep hearing this, Bob, and I don't know what the solution is with this. Where do you weigh in on this?
Well, I've said for a long time that I'm all for a stipend for players, but I think what everybody's missing the boat on is Title IX laws. They're going to have to change the laws of the country before you're going to pay one athlete, not another. I mean, you can talk all you want; it makes for great conversation, and I'm for whatever we can do, but it's going to have to be for all athletes, not one in particular.
What about if you gave minimum wage?
Again, I think it'd be great. Anything we can do for all the athletes would be, that for the teams or the schools that are able to do it, I think would be a positive.
Good to visit with you. Have fun in South Bend. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Dan, good to be with you.
Bob Stoops, Oklahoma head coach.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.